Greetings, fellow space travelers. I'm Lemon Wizard, and today I'm doing a Let's Play of Endless Space 2. I'm hoping to, at some point, do a Let's Play with every single faction in the game, but for the very first one, we're going to be starting with the Sophons, and this one in particular is going to be geared toward newer players of the game. I'm not going to explain like the super basics of just how 4X works. I'm assuming you know that, but a lot of the stuff that's different between 1 and 2 and different between Endless Space and games like Civ is what I'm hoping to do, give people a better handle on things. And so for this game, we're just going to do a simple game on normal difficulty, Spiral Galaxy, as the Sophons, who, for, a very long time in Endless Space 1, I have to admit, I believed were called the Sophons, and then Endless Space 2 came out, and they gave them voice actors, and I realized, like, oh yeah, I'm just an idiot, and saying it wrong, and, being an idiot is a thing that happens, but anyway, I think the Sophons are quite good as a choice for a new player to give out a try. They don't have any special gimmicks like some of the others do. They basically just have a whole bunch of bonuses to science. They research technologies very quickly. So, of course, at the start of the game, you've got food grows your population, which gives you more yields, production lets you build things, dust is money, science researches new technologies for new benefits, and influence, which is, it's sort of like culture and civilization. The more influence a system produces, the quicker its border, which is that circle in your color, will expand. And it can also be used to buy other things, and you need to spend influence for a lot of diplomatic stuff. You can spend it on minor civilizations to ally yourself with them, so that's what everything does. At the start, you begin with one settler ship and one scout ship, colony ship, I suppose I should say, and you have to get started. Now, you see in a situation like this, you can scroll out. I'm relatively close to the center of the galaxy here in a Spiral Galaxy, and on Spiral Galaxy you can assume your home constellation's layout is not going to be all that different from a line. It's going to go to the center, and I would imagine I'm only going to get through 2 or 3 stars before I get to the center here, but I want to basically explore that part first so that I can stop and then turn around, explore the outer edges. But more importantly than that, there's obviously different galaxy types, and like you see a spot like this, where I'm starting the 3-way split, you really want to get your first colony ship making a colony as quickly as you possibly can, because the sooner it makes a colony an outpost, the sooner that outpost becomes a colony, and you can start producing out of 2 systems, which really affects how quickly you get started early game. So when you have a situation like this, you can generally pretty safely assume, like these 2 systems here, there will be a way to go from this one to this one, because that's just generally how the game usually works. Like when there's 2 stars close together like that, there will be a star lane between them. Whereas on this side, this system is probably only connected to one other system. It's still going to not be visible when I go there. So, since I don't know where anything is as of yet, what's a good place to settle, I generally want to send my scout off in the direction of the single way, because basically the colony ship, if the first place it goes is to one of the, if the scout ship finds something good here, I can just settle there right away. If it doesn't find something good there, I can send the colony ship this way, and if one of these 2 sucks, I can quickly then get to the other. And your initial move, usually you want to have it set up to try and get your colony ship making a colony as quickly as you can. Here's a 5-planet system with 2 planets I can settle right off the bat, and strategic resources. Okay, this is almost certainly where I want to send my colony ship. That's really good luck to start next to that. I'm going to probe here. We're at a mineral-rich Mediterranean planet. What's on lava? Irradiated. Still, that gave me a science bonus. Good to probe. There's usually anomalies on your starting system, but you can use your production to clear those, so I don't usually probe the starting system on the first turn, because that uses up movement points on your scout, and that'll stop him from going and exploring on the first turn, which is not generally ideal. Now, colonize this Mediterranean planet. I can't do any of the actions to speed up the colonization as of yet. It takes 150 dust. But in a couple turns when I have 150 dust, I'm probably going to spend that to get this rolling as quick as I can, because you can't actually spend dust to buy things until you research that ability, which comes a little bit later. I'm going to have the scout ship keep going. My home system of Juyin is looking nice. I got a forest planet I can easily settle, but what I'm going to start with is drone networks. That's what you build first in most systems, because it just gives you some food and production to get your starting system rolling better. And then after that, I'm going to build another scout so that I can explore things a little bit more quickly and efficiently rather than only having one scout. If I'm lucky and it's conveniently timed, I'll run into the edge of the center of the galaxy here, which I won't be able to go any further because I don't have wormholes yet, and then I'll be able to turn around and put the 2 scouts into one fleet by the time he gets back to that spot. And then first hero I almost always put in, and by almost always I mean like literally always. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I always start a hero off in one of the systems to get that rolling, because at the beginning, your exploration ship really doesn't need a hero that badly. You get more benefit from it. Governing the system. And then for the first technology, for many people, the first technology you buy is the thing that lets you get the public-private partnerships for the more science building, xenobiology. But of course, Sophons, being the science specialist, they start with that from turn 1. So the other really important thing to build is I'm getting xenolinguistics first, and then I'm going to go for planetary landscaping. Each one of them gives production for this one, or food for this one, based on the number of planets you have. And at the very start, I mean, those modifiers stack, so if you start on a fertile, temperate planet, you can get 30 production on that one planet and maybe settle another one for more production. And that's going to be the best production building for you, almost certainly, because the other one is based on population. Here you can see, and that's generally not going to be providing as much benefit until later on when your population has grown more, and the one that's just based on number of planets in the system is the big producer building. So I'm going to start with those 2 technologies, and in turn 1, another 5-planet system right next to my star. My scout does not have any probes left. It takes 2 charges to build 2 turns to build another probe, so I can't probe any of these anomalies at the current time. However, could settle a monsoon. This looks like possibly the second system I'm going to settle, because it's 5 planets. It's right close to my home. Always good. And let's just keep going. Alright, now, of course, every faction has their own story quest, and basically there will be a number of things you can choose. You can either do, like this one is win 3 battles, and that gives you 15% less ship cost on all your systems. That's a really good upgrade, because that doesn't just affect, military ships, it also affects colony ships, and that's something that'll keep benefiting you even later when you're, building the big capital ships. So that's a really nice one. Inspire, take your exploration feats and orbit 2 systems in a different constellation, gives you the Soften Free Move module, which, honestly, I don't usually do this one when I'm playing the Sophons, because, 2 movement points is nice, but you can get a warp drive that gives 3 movement points, or like the Hyperion one that gives you 3 movement points, and ship evasion. Like, you can get more movement with other things, and it uses up a support module slot, as opposed to, just 15% cheaper ships all the time. Then Socialize is to raise your relationship with a minor civilization to 90 or higher, which can be nice, lets you do bribe and praise for 30% less, but, it's often not that useful because you don't necessarily have a lot of them nearby. I think, generally speaking, I like to militarize on this one just because 15% cheaper ships is nice. The other thing to keep in mind is sometimes you you base your choice not on what's the best bonus, but on just what will be the easiest condition for you to achieve. So, now we got the system Kionos. That is not settleable at this time, and that's the end of where I can go. Now, as you can see scrolling out, that's like the center of the galaxy. There is almost certainly a wormhole, or even two wormholes, going to the center of the galaxy or other arms of the galaxy, which I can't see yet because you need a technology for that. But I am going to have to count on that either the Kionos or Othero system is very likely going to be a point that I have to defend at some point. This is the center of the galaxy that's highly contested. I can't see him yet, but there's a very solid chance I might have a less than friendly border in this area. So I'm probably going to have to settle Othero before too long. Oops, forgot to research a technology. Alright, now at this point I'm going to go Plasma Metallurgy, and then the last one I'm going to get is Off-World Agribusiness, which I don't need the happiness from the supermarket yet, but this Xeno Synergy lets you do diplomacy with minor civilizations, use your influence to start making friends with them. I haven't met any minor civilizations yet, which is why I haven't got it yet, but I mean, my scout ship could find one at any time, and that's one of the cheap first-tier tech, so it's good to get. Often, you know, you see on this in the science one, each of the two tier 2 technologies lets you colonize a different type of planet, and which order you get these in sort of depends on what your scouts find. You know, what planets are around you, what you want to be able to settle. So, rather than queuing up a whole bunch of stuff in a row, you're often going to be like, oh yeah, clear out the early things and choose these based on what your scout finds. So. Alright, now actually, since there's two spots, I think I'm going to send one of my scout ships one way and the other scout ship the other way. And then these might connect again to that system, and I can combine them into one fleet there. So... at this point, I'm going to get Cerebral Reality that gives Science and Dust, mostly because I'm at a +5 on Dust. That's really not very much. What is Kylan doing? It's 6 turns away. But, you know, it's worth the 150 Dust to turn that into 3 and start getting my second system producing. Alright, searching these curiosities. Cyberflora, low gravity. Okay, so that lava planet will be, it's got some positive anomalies. This is not settleable quite yet. It's a hot system, so. And my hero has leveled up. I'm going to assign him the skill Optimal Relations Expert. Gives him food and production. Food and, like, when a system is just getting started, food and production is what it needs. Get the population up so it can produce more, and production up so it can get its buildings done. I've discovered the planet Tor. Endless homeworld. Oh, well, that's good. I got a rare wonder planet adjacent to my home system. That may be worth settling. Let's search this curiosity. Ooh, got some Nereus Exiles, which is very convenient. You can see here, this little ship, I can't click on it because I don't control it, but when I find exiles on a curiosity, they will fly back to your nearest system and become a population there. So that's just free population, which is always good. And these guys, there's a minor civ here on Bracia. You get, minor civs like you when you search a curiosity in their system, it gives you a little bonus for a couple of turns. So I'm actually going to have this guy wait to rebuild a probe, and I'm going to send the other one to meet him, and then I'll be able to combine both of them into one fleet. But I do want to probe a curiosity in that system to start my relationship going. Off-world agribusiness, obviously, one turn away from being done. But once that's done, I can praise them and start building that up, and they'll start giving me money and manpower and all that good stuff. Okay, and now I'm going to buy another incubator, and I'm going to send him to the Othero system, get that settled too. That's another 5-planet system. That'll give me a good start right around my home world. After which point, I'm going to get my Mega Indie Consultancy and settle the second planet. Okay, merge those guys into one fleet. Probe Curiosity. 150 dust. Alright, and I get +2 for turn for 5 turns, and now I'm going to praise them. That should get me past that little first mark, which will start giving them a baseline benefit to me. I'll be friends with these guys. It's always good to be friends with minor civilizations. Eventually you can assimilate them, but that'll be a little bit after the start of the game. Oh, forgot to pick a technology again. Alright, let's see. Do I want to colonize? I have a steppe planet in my home system. I have a Mediterranean and forest. Okay. Arid in Kylum 2. And Othero has got just monsoon, desert, and ash are a little higher up the tech tree. So I think the next one I want is colonizing steppes. And then after that, I'm going to get baryonic shielding for advanced scanners that makes it so a higher percentage of the curiosities will be visible from each sea and shoot probe that. I'm not sending the one to Tor just yet because Tor, while it's a nice unique planet, it has like 0 production is one of the special things about it. So once I have Arid researched, I'm actually probably going to colonize that Arid planet first to get a baseline of food and production, and then colonize Tor after I already control the system. And Kylum is up. I'm going to get a drone network and a cerebral reality. It's just an anomaly. Keep going, scouts. So is another system. Mediterranean to colonize. Probably going to want to get that before too long. Colonize the steppe planet because it's got a bunch of positive anomalies on it that make it really good, better than a usual planet. And okay, 250 I cannot afford at this time, but I'll probably get that as soon as I can to make it colonize more quickly. And alright, probe these two. Speed, 2 vision range on the fleet. Alright, that's convenient. Ooh, Jade Onyx. That is a useful luxury resource. You use that, gives you production. Okay, this may just be one-off star. I don't know if this is that, or I could actually possibly have a constellation that's connected to one of the other spiral arms. Oh, discovered the remnant. let's start negotiations with these guys. Praise. And then hopefully... yeah, there's a curiosity in there in that system that I can search when my scout gets there.
The Empire welcomes all who embrace.
Empire is here. Alright. He searched the curiosity for that son of a bitch. Alright, Sophons. That's how you're gonna be, that's how you're gonna be. It's not technically an act of war, but it is an act of pissing me off. And that looks like... that goes into his territory. Yeah, I think my arm is actually a connected constellation to this other arm. I'm gonna send a probe that way and actually turn it around, try and... because if this is close to, I don't know whether he's spawned here, or even further down one of those arms, but only one person can search a curiosity, and it's better to explore an area over here where I think no one's been yet, and there'll be curiosities for me there. Colonize snow, colonize arid, yeah, I need that. And then after I colonize arid, I'm going to get efficient shielding to unlock the basic warship things before the pirates start showing up, or in case Sophons proves to be, you know, even more of a jerk than usual. At least I didn't start next to the Cravers. Fuck those guys. And here's my first election! Scientists win! Hooray! There's an election every 10 turns that determines your government type, and this is sort of a unique feature. Discovered the planet Raya, home of Sandor. Oh, is the Emperor a Clegane now? Alright. Well, I don't need to go that way. I'm gonna go back this way. I do, however, based on the fact that that's his home system, I want to settle Zosmanos as quickly as possible and work on getting control of Pisces. I want to assimilate that before he does. I don't want him to press further into my area and get territory that I can. And then after efficient shielding, I'm going to go for multi-thread management, which is what allows you to buy out constructions with dust. That is what makes dust. That's the main thing you use dust for, is buying things. So that's good to get pretty quickly, more or less regardless of what civ you are. Alright, I'm going to do the Mega Indie Consultancy here. And I'm going to colonize the fertile, temperate forest planet, and then get the public-private partnerships up. Public-private partnerships is the same thing as indie consultancy and sustainable farms, only it gives science. So that's always good. But again, you know, it's the reason I'm doing the colony first is that the public-private partnership will be twice as powerful if I have that colony. So. You know, let's take a look. Yes, okay, I already have done baryonic shielding because I wanted to colonize Savannah and upgrade my curiosities. The other thing that unlocks is warp drive, which allows you to move without star lanes. So if you have vision of another system, you can potentially shortcut it. But it also unlocks in your ship design a new, and like you start with a string gravitics engine, which lets you move 2, but a warp drive engine has a power of 3. And I'm going to actually upgrade my colony ships to have 2 of those. So it'll cost slightly more to build one, but now it can go 11. It's got a move speed of 11, so it can get to the colony much more quickly. that incubator, I'm going to send him to Zosmanos, because that's going to be my forward base against the Imperials. Again, one of the things that's important to keep in mind is when you run into another empire, like, you want to settle the systems that they might potentially compete with you for before, like, you know, Kionos is not that great yet, and, I mean, it's toxic, barren, and steppes with a negative anomaly. But also, like, nobody can actually get there until they either A, research wormholes, or B, come all through all my territory. Whereas, like, this is only 2 systems away from his home, and it's the, you know, point where you can access the rest of the galaxy arm over here. So, like, if I don't get control of this quickly, he might, and that would be a real big pain in the ass for me. Hero is level 3. I'm going to increase his food and production benefit. Okay, we've got some anomalies to search here. Basic pinch beam. That's a better laser than the baseline laser. 50 Empire Science production, that's good. And, alright, out of probes with these 2 guys. I'm going to have them explore the next system. Eventually they're going to get to the end of the spiral arm here, and they'll come back, and I can have them get these 2 curiosities I didn't search yet. Oh yeah, see, like, he's already trying to settle that. You know what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to have my scouts go this way and just sit around in the system.
Well, comrade.
Oh yes, forge a strong friendship, sure. But as long as you have a fleet, like, orbiting them, that, like, makes it way longer for their outpost to become a thing. And I'm going to send my colony there and try to get their control of that first. The way praise works is the more praises you currently have on them, the more it costs, right? So if you wait for it to run out and then there's no benefit on you, it'll be cheap again. Right now it's 130 to get it from 2 stacks to 3 stacks. But if you want to become friends with a minor civilization really quickly before someone else is doing it, if there's competition, it can be worth spending the extra influence. You know what, I'm going to build another incubator to the system where Tor is. And sustainable farms, and get my arid up. Now that I have finished researching multi-thread management, I can buy things, so if I want more scout ships, I can buy more scout ships. And so now we're competing over this, but you'll see there's a skull over his. That means that he is going to lose his system in that number of turns instead of turn into a colony in that number of turns. And right now I'm not technically at war with him. You start out at Cold War with everyone else, which is not the same as peace. You can still fight each other when you're outside of either's territory, but being at Cold War, he doesn't have territory, well, it's just an outpost, so it's a zone where I can be hostile to him, and so that actually will destroy his outpost in 1 turn. And so I'm going to settle the arid. And I'm going to spend manpower, greener grass. What that does is it siphons food. You spend manpower to siphon food out of their colony into yours. And the nice thing is, since he already settled this, his outpost will become mine when my colony turns into a full colony. So I'll have 2 planets settled right from the get-go. I am going to actually probably destroy his outpost before that happens, but it is possible you could even theoretically have a 5-planet system and all 5 planets have a colony from a different person. But whoever makes the first colony, they gain control of all those planets. And settle on Naos. That'll take 17 turns, but whatever. Oh yes. I always keep forgetting to make new technologies on the Sophons because they research them so much faster. You gotta do it every couple of turns. Let's see. Colonize snow. What is the uncolonized planet? Oh, it's a gas giant. Well, fuck that. Meanwhile, we've got Columba. That's a 5-planet system. What do I need for that? Ash. Desert. Okay. Actually, I'm going to get Xenotourism agencies for some more dust. I'm going to leave 24 turn in, which is not much. And then I'll research colonize that. And then I'll research colonize snow, also because that gives me free happiness. So yeah, see that little purple dot? His outpost is now gone, and my outpost is the only one here. Capture, assimilate a new population type into your empire. Thero. I'm gonna go drone networks. I'm actually gonna search that life form. Actually, no, that will take 4 turns. I'm gonna do a cerebral reality and then search the life form. That could become either another anomaly or it could become, likely it'll be a luxury resources, so that's always good. At the start of the game, my biggest focus is on getting as much space as I can before other players can get it, you know. Because you can't see all the resources at the start of the game, you don't know what you're going to be missing later, and also just, you know, in general, it's competitive. The more systems you have to work, the more you can produce as a general. I'm gonna put a +10 praise on these guys to start. See, they're giving me dust, manpower, and science. And each line there's 3 stages that you surpass, and it increases the benefit with each one you get to. Well, now that his outpost is destroyed, I'm gonna send my scouts to actually scout. Alright, no anomalies here. Oh, but I do see an Imperial scout. Let's see if I can't get to this one before him. And my other scout is going to search these curiosities. Antimatter, that's a strategic resource. 150 dust, always good. Alright, this one, -10 on the Empire for 10 turns. That's -10 for the whole Empire, not like per planet. So that's actually not very much, and I'll get a free technology in 10 turns, which is going to be better than the amount of science I gave up for this. So this quest, I like always take Analyze the Planet. And these guys have got a level 2 curiosity that I was not able to scan the first time I went through, but now that I have the research, I will be able to with the scout ship. The Kylum system. Kylum means sky in Latin. Fun fact. Sustainable farms, planetary transport, Xenotourism agency. So just more food production and then money. Money's always good. Then I'm going to colonize the air. So that system's developing nicely. I am going to now use production to discover out these anomalies on these planets. So that should find potentially more strategic or luxury resources or positive anomalies. It can be a negative anomaly, which kind of sucks because the negative anomaly doesn't actually start doing anything until you discover it, but it's a risk you gotta take. Cannot afford one probe. He's gotta wait to make another probe. Mayal system. Arctic, and ice. It's cold. Yeah, see there's no star lane, but with warp drive I could just go straight to there. Oh, Hamal. That's a 5-planet system. Lava, small ash, large desert. Oh. And you know, you can actually kind of see there where I'm looking, and there, those little blobs there, that's actually a wonder on this planet. I haven't searched the Curiosity yet, but there's going to be a wonder on this planet. You guys will see in one turn when I do search it. Alright, production's ready, research queue. I'm actually gonna go for, colonize lava. Any number of these could be useful. Colonize Arctic. There are a number of Arctic planets floating around, and, the graviton laboratories are helpful. However, it takes 5 Hyperium for that, and I only make 3 a turn, so I actually can't build any of those laboratories yet. I'll get more Hyperium. I'm sure there's unsearched Hyperium on planets I already own. Actually, I'm going to get autonomous construction, which, thanks to being the Sophons, I don't actually have to research these first 2 to unlock the next tier. The Sophons just unlock an extra tier of the science research from what they normally would be able to as their thing. This particular one, autonomous construction, is really, really good because it lets you increase your maximum fleet size from 4 command points to 7 command points, and that is like a big difference in how strong they are. Alright, search the Curiosity. Plus 50 Empire science production. Nice. This little black hole here is likely going to be providing it. It's plus 50 science if it's within the thing, and this system, the Naos system, Tor's benefit is you get a shitload of influence from citizens on Tor, so that's gonna take over the black hole pretty quickly. Obviously, it's still an outpost. Even the enemy can't need to. Oh, the stranded Horatios. Okay, there's 3 available population slots. So I'm gonna go give you guys a place to live. Oh dear, pirates. That ratio ship. 1755. 3 pincers. Okay, the pirates could kill the Horatio ship, which would not be ideal. Here's hoping they just fly through the system without trouble. I'm gonna have to study some terrain. I'm gonna have to get some actual fighting ships out here in a second to fight the pirates. that. I recall, I haven't researched any new weapon modules, but I got one from a probe curiosity, the basic pinch beam. Okay, and also I'm going to swap one of the platings out for the shield because I'm with energy weapons. Apply design. Now I'm going to build some of those. And keep praising this guy. Once they get above the third line, above 75, you will be able to assist them, and that'll give you a quest, and if you complete the quest, that becomes one of your assistants. And that's my goal, is to do the assimilation quest here before the Empire can. And if I'm feeling really greedy, I could try to colonize Sirius too, but I am not sure I want to risk that at this time. I'd rather keep going in the open space over here. Oh yeah, another election. I forgot to explain the election system. Basically, you know, as you can see, there's like Sophons are naturally tend toward being scientific as a population, but also like the influence of various ideologies. Like if you build science buildings, it'll make that in a system that'll make them more like scientists. If you build like battleships in a system, that'll make them more towards militarists, that sort of a thing. And almost every tooltip will say what political impact it has. Political impact. Ecologists on that, pacifists on that, ecologists. Ecologists are generally with food, industrialists are generally with production. Most of it's straightforward, but what political parties are in power, so like these three political parties for my democracy are scientists, ecologists, and pacifists. I can only pass laws from scientists, ecologists, and pacifists. And there's a bunch of laws, obviously, but what I'm going to pass is the Dirty Hands Act. That's a scientist bill. It only costs, 13 influence per turn. It's 1 per population. That is nice. It's 20% faster construction of improvements, but I'm only making 12 influence per turn. Most laws have either an upkeep cost and influence, or some of them, like for example, the Super Tax Act gives you extra money but makes your people less happy. You know, the Toys for Boys Act gives you more happiness but less production. So some of them, the cost will be something else. Like brains over bucks is like spend money for more science. But a lot of them is influence is the cost, and it's usually it's based on population, and stronger things will be 2 influence per person. There's actually stuff that's as much as like 4 influence per person per population later on. But so right now I don't have any laws up, and I'm not going to get any laws up for a little smidge. I want AI labor for more production, and I don't really have a lot of stuff to sell on the market yet. This is the marketplace. Lets you like sell your resources for money or spend money to buy resources you're short on, which for the most part is very, very useful. Like later on in the game you'll have there's only so many luxury resources you can use in system developments, right? There's 1 kind in level 2, 2 kinds in level 3, 3 kinds in level 4. So there's only 6 kinds of luxury resources you can use total, and you might have more than 6 that you've discovered on planets, and those, extra resources you can sell, however much your empire produces, and that's really nice. Right now I'm going to get peer review, because you're a Sophon, and obviously science is good. Plus 10 on system. Also, every hero has some starting systems, one for being in a fleet and one for being on a system, which of course is the Sophon hero using science. Empire now has access to Transvine. pirates are flying this way. Well, that's good. That'll get them closer to my fleet. And honestly, I'm glad a pirate finally spawned because I need to win 3 battles to finish this part of my quest, so... Kids gives culture Jansen, which is plus 50, which is not bad. That gives plus 20 happiness. Although I'm going to be perfectly honest, I'm going to pick Garrison, not because, I mean, the happiness is nice. Not because that's more important to me, but more because only science-focused improvements for 10 whole turns. That means no food, no production, and there's definitely other improvements I want to build for 10 turns. And plus 50 on cultural jam centers, that's not like, I mean, it's good, but honestly, I need to get the population and production of these systems up. So I'm going to go with this one. Within 10 turns, garrison at least 2 military ships in each of Julian and Kaitlun's hangars, which is not difficult to accomplish. You build 2 ships and you leave it in the hangar. In fact, I'm going to put off this arid colony for a second and build 2 accelerators here. Detectors. Oh, this is a system with lots of curiosities. Step planet, snow planet, snow planet. Alright. This one's all cold. But cold is good for the Sophons. Cold often has got science bonuses for a bunch of things, and you get extra happiness on cold as the Sophons. Like for example, on look over here, you see this eukaryotic sap. On most civs, it's just plus 5 on planets, and that's it. But on the Sophons, it's the Home and Hearth program. It's different, and you get plus 5 on cold in addition to that. And cold planets are also have a bunch of science bonuses. The Exoscience Station produces more on cold, for example. The Analytical Engine. That is a really good one. It's a unique improvement, so it's like a wonder. You can only build it once, plus 1 dust for every curiosity ever discovered. You know, so right now for me that's probably like 15, but the more my exploring fleets go around, that just increases the dust production of that more and more and more. Okay, send a fleet to the quest marker. Okay. 2 scouts can go to that quest marker. An atmosphere. Ooh, a Garden of Eden. Garden of Eden is like the best positive anomaly. Bunch of happiness and all things on that planet. Okay, well, and Transvine. Transvine's a happiness luxury. Well, Kochop, that's got 4 colonizable planets and a Garden of Eden, so that's definitely something I want to get. Can you scan anything? No, you can't. Go, praise them again. In 1 more turn, you see it eclipses the line. I'll be able to start their quest. Oh, this Zosmo's coming. Okay, that'll be a colony in 3 more turns. Signs of life. So, okay, that's 30 Hyperium, always good. And then, oh yeah, if I search that curiosity, it's gonna make a little pirate fleet. So what I want to do is, let's see, oh, it doesn't have anything you can probe here. I want to get the 3rd detector there, combine them into 1 fleet, because scout ships aren't that strong, and I mean, I can't beat the pirates, but I'm just gonna get a 3rd ship there to make sure that the scout ships are enough. And if not, I'll have to send in some accelerators. Alright. I'm going to research commercial freight work so I can get my first trading company up. Trading companies give you gold and resources. And my plan is I'm going to put the trading company here in Othero, and I'm going to put the subsidiary in Sophons, because the more systems a trade company, the trade route passes through, the more stuff it needs. Keep praising these guys, get my friendships rolling. Alright, because I need 2 for that other quest, ships in the hangar. I got 4 ships in this hangar, but they're not in the hangar anymore if I build the fleet, so I'm just going to quickly finish that construction. And then, when the quest will complete next turn, and then build the 5th one. 5 plus 2 is 7, that'll be a whole fleet. And then after that, I'm going to research the anomaly and colonize the step planet. Okay, 3 ships. Let's see how this fight goes. Science production. Now I'm going to destroy those pirates for 50 Hyperium. What's the strength of the pirate? They've got 49, and it's all physical damage. Well, let's fight this and see if I can do that. I'm going to do hull plating absorption. Let's watch this battle. At the start, your 2 main ones are turtle and power to shields. Each of which, turtle gives you more hull plating, which is good against kinetic attacks, and power to shields is good against energy attacks. And that's basically the main choice between tactics you play. There's also the one that lets you recover a little dust from dead ships, which I'm hoping my ships don't die. I'm probably going to lose at least one. Speed this up, get to the action. Get those pirates, kill them! You can do it, scout ships! Alright, I'm gonna speed it up again. This is taking a while. Looks like I'm about to lose one of mine, and he's not as much about to lose one of his. Draw! Wow, that was exciting. Okay, well... obviously I'm gonna have to get more stuff over there. And in fact, it's got a probes in it, so let's see if there's anything over here. Or I'll cancel that and use the Horatio ship's probes to search these. And I'll search the other curiosities around here. With that, Thero needs get you a mega industry building. Colonize the monsoon planet. I'm not going to watch it again because it's going to take a long time. But yeah, like you can see the tactics screen here, 75% shield absorption, 15% gained. So like if someone dies, I gain 15 dust. Which that guy is almost certainly going to die, but I want the hull plating. And you can see, if you look on that, like the projectile energy balance on the left, there's a little projectile with the moving and the little bolt for the energy. So their weapons are all projectiles, which means shields don't actually do anything. So I want the hull plating against this. Another draw. Yeah, I definitely need more ships to beat those pirates. I'll send the fleet out once I can. Sophons is an idle system. Let's get you a drone network and cerebral reality. Alright, it's turn 25, and I'm obviously going to have to upload this in multiple parts, so, oh, quest. Plus 26, no, yeah, I want the production, minus 10 happiness is not going to hurt me as much as minus 30 production, so. And, you know, even though I'm skipping it for the purpose of the Let's Play, like, most of these quests have pretty interesting stories. It's worth reading when you're actually playing. Oh, good. I got that. And solo quest completed. Capture assembling new population. And now I have Wapster, which, of course, can give me plus 20 happiness to undo the minus happiness from that event. Okay, yeah, fight again. Grave defeat. Okay, well, those scout ships are dead. Anyway, it is turn 25, and I think this is a good time to save the game. For part 1. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in part 2.